Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Amanda Nunes is ducking her motherfucking taco from Cris Cyborg. It's official. All I was waiting on to get the confirmation is what's going on with Amanda Nunes' injury. And if some of you might recall, I asked the question, I don't think Amanda Nunes, I don't think that her injury is really what's preventing her from fighting Cyborg at UFC 228. And I thought that because why would the UFC offer Cris Cyborg a contract to fight Amanda Nunes at UFC 228 if Amanda Nunes is injured, right? If Amanda Nunes, or whoever just broke their hands in a fight, Robert Whittaker, right? So Robert Whittaker, he's injured. He just hurt himself in his Yoel Romero fight. Do you think the UFC is sending him contracts to fight at UFC 229, knowing that he's out until likely 2019 because of his injury? Or any fighter, and it would just be really, I don't want to say, no, I don't know if irresponsible is the word, but it would just seem a little unprofessional if the UFC was sending out contracts to their champions. Like, it's different if it's not your champion. But you would think that the UFC knows the health status of their champions. And if not, they have an idea of it. Like, with that being said, Amanda Nunes, after her performance against Raquel Pennington, she was out for from 30 up to 180 days. Now, we didn't ever hear the exact number. Is it going to be 30? Is it going to be 90? Is it going to be 180? If it would have been 180 days, that would have been 6 months. And since Amanda Nunes fought Raquel Pennington in May, if the longest Amanda Nunes would have been out due to that injury would have been until November. And that's honestly the benefit of the doubt that I was giving Amanda Nunes, because that timeline would make sense with that possible injury she had. If she was out, she said, hey, I'll fight you at UFC 232, then that timeline would go along with the injury. So it's like, okay, maybe Amanda Nunes is injured. Now, Cris Cyborg has taken to Twitter and said she just received a call from the UFC that Amanda Nunes is medically cleared to fight. Hashtag Free Cyborg, hashtag UFC 228. With that being said, there is no other excuse for Amanda Nunes to not take this fight right now, except for if she doesn't want the fight. But she's the one that made us want to see this fight. Amanda Nunes called this fight out. Cris Cyborg never wanted to fight Amanda Nunes. She didn't want to fight a fellow Brazilian. She didn't want to make Brazil cry. She didn't want to do none of this. She was like, no, it's good. I want to fight a legit featherweight. And Amanda Nunes kept egging this on. No, Cyborg, it's got nothing to do with Brazil. It's okay, nothing personal. Let's fight. Bada boom, bada boom. And so we're all like, okay, champion versus champion super fight. Let's go. Even Cris Cyborg was like, all right, you asked for it. Let's go. And ever since then, Amanda Nunes has been just unavailable to fight Cris Cyborg. And it's like, come on, dog. What's going on? Are you injured or are you ducking your motherfucking taco? And now that we see Amanda Nunes is medically cleared to fight at UFC 228, there's nothing Amanda Nunes can say except for I'll fight Cyborg. There's nothing Nina Ansaroff can come out and say. Like, she does a lot. Amanda Nunes' wife or girlfriend. Like, whenever Cyborg came out and said that she signed the contract to fight Nunes at 228, Nina Ansaroff came out and said like it was fake news, and hey, we'll fight you at 232. You know, sometimes she comes out and speaks up for Amanda Nunes, but there's nothing either of them are going to be able to say to get them out of this situation. If you're medically cleared, what is your excuse to not fight? Maybe they'll come up with a personal excuse that you can't question. We had like a death in the family, you know, like when you're trying to get off work and you can't think of a good one. Like, oh, you know, it's a personal issue. We're probably going to hear it's a personal issue now. What's that personal issue? We don't know. But it's not the fucking fact that she was injured in her Raquel Pennington fight. It looks like the UFC is telling Cyborg she's medically cleared. And I don't see Cris, just like I was telling you guys last night with Darren Till, whenever he started saying Colby Covington was out and people were questioning, is this real? Is this real? Is this fake news? And I was like, yo, Darren Till, I don't think he would be calling out Tyron Woodley on Twitter saying that Colby Covington's out, just talking out of his ass. I don't think Cris Cyborg would say that Amanda Nunes is medically cleared if she wasn't, because Amanda Nunes could come out and say, here's the paperwork. I'm not medically cleared until, boom, November, boom, October. I'm not medically cleared. But if she's medically cleared, what are you waiting for? Kind of like Scary Movie. What are you waiting for? We don't know. Sign the contract for UFC 228, please. It will be the biggest night for WMMA. If you're Amanda Nunes, if you're Nina Ansaroff, this is a big night for WMMA. Risk it for the... You got nothing to lose here. You're not losing your belt. You don't have a legacy at featherweight to worry about. Whenever Daniel Cormier went up and fought Stipe Miocic and won his second belt, he was risking an undefeated record at heavyweight. A lot of the times when you're going up to fight a champion for their belt, it's a win-win for you. Because you're not losing your belt, you're not risking your belt, you're getting paid like a super fight because it's a champion versus champion fight. So it's a huge payday, and you've got nothing to lose. But DC was 13-0 at heavyweight, so if he would have lost to Stipe, that would have put a blemish on his heavyweight record. So he actually had something to risk, and he still took the fight. Now, Amanda Nunes, you're not going to lose your belt. You might lose a fight. No one's really going to care afterward because it was Cris Cyborg. All in all, people are going to chalk it up as you were a bantamweight, even though it's still going to be a great fight because you're the best bantamweight. But this fight is so fucking perfect right now for that reason. For one, it closes the chapters on Cris Cyborg versus bantamweights. If Cris Cyborg beats Amanda Nunes, she don't have to fight any more bantamweights. Because listen, I know I never fought Ronda Rousey, but guess what I did do? I beat Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes, both the chicks that beat Ronda Rousey. I beat the bantamweight champion. There's no bantamweight in the planet that can beat Amanda Nunes, and I just did. So you know that there's no bantamweights out here fucking with me. So with that being said, that would also help Cris Cyborg in a sense. But just bigger than Cyborg, bigger than Nunes, this would be fucking huge for WMMA. I know a lot of people don't really hear about that fact specifically, but think about this. Nico Montano versus Valentina Shevchenko already at UFC 228. We could have the three best female fighters on the planet on the same card. And just to wrap your head around that, think about the male equivalent of that because it's a little more established. The three best men's fighters on the same card. We would be looking at a card with like John Jones, George St. Pierre, and Conor McGregor, right? All on the same card. Could you imagine how insane that would be? Conor McGregor, John Jones, and George St. Pierre, three of the best men's MMA fighters ever. That would be huge, and that's what could happen here if Amanda Nunes didn't seem to be ducking her motherfucking taco. Because we've already got Cyborg wanting to fight at 228. Nico's on the card, and the only one missing is Nunes, and she's medically cleared to fight. So not only are you just avoiding a fight with Cyborg here, but you're actually taking a big night away from WMMA. There's not one WMMA fan on the planet that would not be watching UFC 228 if this fight was scheduled, and Cyborg wants all the smoke. So with that being said, it is what it is. Hopefully, just hopefully, and I'm holding on to an inkling of hope, Cris Cyborg will get an opponent for UFC 228, and even if it's one of the legit featherweights outside the UFC, right? I would like to see either Cindy Dandois, Pam Sorensen, or even Ediane Gomez. Any of these girls get this opportunity if Amanda Nunes is going to be ducking her taco. So it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments about Amanda Nunes being medically cleared to fight. I don't know how Nina Ansaroff is going to get her out of this one, but I'm sure we'll see probably something coming up in the future, maybe personal issues or something, you know what I'm saying? No fighter wants to look like they're just ducking the fade. No one wants to look like they're scared of another fighter. So that's usually there's going to be an excuse that comes out, but I don't know if we're going to be buying it. And with that being said, I got to give a huge shout out to Nexus AT for the $50 donation. He came through and said, let's get started on this rap career. Yo, bro, I take that as you enjoyed the Brendan Child versus Dana White rap we did. Much appreciated. I actually, me being the perfectionist I am, that wasn't one of my favorites, but it actually got a great response. Honestly, I felt like it was a little too short. I wanted to make it longer, but it was like 5 in the morning and I was tired, so I was like, oh, we're putting out the snippet. So thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, man, like I said, I would love to do one of those freestyle raps for every single UFC fight card. I think we could do that every single main event. But right now, those take a lot more effort than the other videos, on top of trying to support the channel and pay my bills with a fucking part-time job essentially right now. So things are hectic, but soon, real soon, maybe in the next 3 months, hopefully, we are going to be on top of our game. I'm talking about we're going to have everything we need, the equipment. We don't need much. And with that being said, thanks for the $50 donation again. But I just wanted to let anybody else know, if you guys want to help the full-time startup fund, the Shuey startup, it would be best to donate on the GoFundMe. I thank you very much for the $50 on the PayPal, but I say that to say this. you're likely donating to help the channel. And we've got, only for the next 7 days, we've got somebody willing to match every single donation made to the fund in the next week. So every single dollar donated to the GoFundMe, he'll match. But it is what it is. The PayPal is going to get here tomorrow. That's going to help me with my more immediate expenses. So I thank you for that. And I would never say, like, I don't want to make anyone feel like if you donated $50, trust me, I'm very thankful, very thankful. But I just wanted to point it out to you. If you did want to donate, the best place to do it right now would be to the channel fund, because somebody for the next 7 days will match every dollar donated. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody listening. Thank you to everybody that's been a fucking part of the growth of this channel. And to the trolls that had some shit to say overnight, I'll deal with you guys next video. Actually, we're gonna save it here. I think this was a good video. So yeah, man, thank you very much for the $50 donation, and thank you again to Yankin' My Dandy Doodle, who is willing to match every single donation donated to the GoFundMe in the next 7 days. I'm gonna be pushing that because that's a super dope offer, and that's really gonna how we get the stuff we need in these next couple of months to really kickstart this channel. And we've been grinding already for a year and a half, or longer than a year, and we've came very far. But trust me, this is nothing yet. We started at the basement, we're still on the bottom, and we're on the way to the motherfucking clouds. The sky is the limit. So shout out to everybody. This is going to be a fun ride, and we're just getting started. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOG.